3 years I wasted here. Man, that ends today. Hey guys, Jim Sims here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm in the truck today, not on the bike. The weather's a little overcast. Looks like we might get some rain. And before you start, yes, I do ride in the weather, but I've got video equipment with me today and I don't want to get it wet. Matter of fact, I don't need these any longer. Anyway, I appreciate you tuning in. I lost my 13-year-old son right before his 14th birthday in a motocross accident. Since then, I've spent over the last 3 years on pause, kind of on autopilot. Not really getting anything done, man. I mean, just wandering around from place to place that he and I used to go. Just stuck my head in the sand. Anyway, I have got no counseling experience. I have got, other than when I've been, and I am not a pastor. I am simply a dude that had the worst thing in the world that could possibly happen to him happen. And I want to share that experience with you, because if I can help just one person, last 3 years I've spent wandering and aimlessly on my bike and in the cab of this truck, just looking for nothing. Stop right there for a minute. Been married over 26 years to a beautiful lady. Tammy, I love you, sweetheart. I have got 2 boys, Chaz, my oldest, and Tanner was my youngest that passed away at 13. Chaz is in his mid-20s. Just had my first granddaughter. And, she is just the spark and the beam of sunshine that I didn't think I'd ever see again. So, Bricks, Pops loves you. But anyway, to get back on track, I just wanted to reach out to somebody or anybody or everybody who is going through the same situation and, you know, maybe give you something to compare notes with. This journey, you're going to meet a lot of people that have lost loved ones. You're going to meet, if you are a bereaved parent, you're going to meet a lot of people that have lost kids. I mean, whether you want to or not, it just happens. It's like a magnet. It's an elite club that nobody wants to be in, but man, we're in it. And I just want to tell you that it can always be worse. I've met people that have lost more than one child. I have met people that have lost their entire family. But I can tell you this, you're not programmed to bury your kid. You're just not. So don't try to figure it out. I mean, it's something the human brain, the mechanics just can't wrap itself around. Now, like I said, I'm not a pastor, and I'm not here to pass my religious beliefs on to you. I am a Christian, and it's what gets me through it. And if you're not, that's okay with me. I am not going to judge. So, you know, don't turn it off just because I might mention Christ, or I will mention Christ and God on occasion. But I just want to let you know, man, you're not in alone. But what I do want to do is at least show you my journey and what I have gone through, and maybe it'll show you some red flags or some situations that you might realize in your own world and think, you know what, I remember that old dude on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and he talked about this situation, and now I think I'm in this situation, and man, I don't want to do that. So that's all I'm trying to do. Background on my family. We were still are an outdoors family. My wife and I had a you go, we go attitude with the kids. Couldn't do it as family, man, we just didn't dig it. You know, I didn't go and play golf with my buddies on the weekend, but it's the time that you spend with that family that's important, and squeezing as much as you can into that short amount of time we're given is what life's about. I truly believe that. You know, there's a poem or a song or something about the dash, talking about the tombstone. You've got the date you were born, you got the date you die. The dash in the middle is the most important part, and I strongly believe that. It's a really cool poem. Look it up. The path that I went down, I almost destroyed my family. My marriage of over 26 years, I almost ripped apart. My relationship with my oldest son took a beating. And there was one time when my oldest son told my wife, I think Dad's upset because I'm not the one that died. And let me tell you, that just swept my feet right up from underneath me. My oldest son and I were best friends. I raised Chaz in the front seat of this pickup truck. I mean, he learned life in the front seat. Well, I lied. I got a new truck a couple years ago. He learned about life in the front seat, staring out the windshield of my old truck. So I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. And he was my rock star. I built my heroes, basically. My two boys were my heroes. And Chaz was a very accomplished motocross racer, and he had a severe accident in 2008, which ended his motocross career. And for a short time, we didn't know whether or not he was going to survive. We didn't know what he was going to be like when he survived. He suffered a traumatic brain injury, and he is 100% back today. He is, you never know it. I had to wake up and realize how I was destroying him, and I didn't right away. I tell everybody I have ridden in the devil's Cadillac. I have stood toe-to-toe with the devil. I have had a glimpse of hell, and I don't like it, and it scares the hell out of me. And in this journey, you're going to go through some of the darkest places and travel through some of the darkest places you never knew existed. But I can tell you, there is light on the other side. It will make you a stronger person. 3 years ago, heck, a year ago, even thinking about making videos and talking to y'all just wasn't in my cards. I had, I was just mad. I was mad at society for moving on without my kid. I was mad at my family for moving on without my kid. I was mad at God for making me move on without my kid. And I was mad at me for moving on without my kid. And the quicker you can wrap up and lasso in that anger, the better it's going to be for you. I'm just telling you that. You're going to be mad. You're going to feel cheated. And you are. You have every right to feel that way. But the quicker you can get those shackles off of you and start moving forward, and man, that is probably one of the most painful things in the world, one of the most painful things in the world to hear somebody say is, you need to move forward. And because you don't want to. You want time to stand still, but yet you still want time to fast forward and get this life done with sometimes. And you're going to experience all that. You know, how can you want the exact opposite things? Well, let me tell you, you will. You will have moments in your life where you're going to smile again. You are going to have moments in your life where you are going to reflect back on those memories that hurt so bad right now, and you're going to have happy thoughts. It's happening. I'm experiencing it. If you're a dad, you're probably going to feel guilt. I know I felt guilt, extreme guilt. Like I said, in 2008, I put my oldest son on a motorcycle, and he was at a practice, And he suffered a really bad accident that I thought I was going to lose him. My wife told me in the hospital, if you ever hurt another one of our children, I can never forgive you. Well, fast forward 5 years later, and I killed one. At least I thought I had. The guilt that I have carried, and I still carry, I'm a dad, I'm a human being, it's not going to go away. But the guilt can be such an anchor or an emotion that it'll rip you apart, and that's what it did. I was mad at my family for not being mad at me. They forgave me. They don't hold me accountable for what happened to Tanner. I truly believe that with all my heart, but it took a long time for me to believe it. Do I think right after it happened they did? Yeah, probably a little bit. They were pretty upset with me in the hospital. I spend time with that family because you never know what tomorrow holds. I mean, another one of those cliches, but I'm telling you, man, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when the last time that you hug them, you kiss them, you tell them how much you love them is going to be. And I hit situations in my life over the last 3 years that I pushed everybody away to the point they were questioning my love for them. And God forbid something would have happened to me and my oldest son not know that Dad loved him when he went. That's just more than I can fathom. So you've got to treat each and every day with the precious love and attention that it is intended for, and that God blessed you. You never know when the last one is. I might not make it home today from the lake out here. My wife's out doing some Christmas shopping. You know, she might not make it home. My son's at work, and there could be an accident at work. Don't realize that when it's too late. Another cliche, but I'm telling you, people, you never get it back. You cannot rewind time. And that was one of the weirdest things whenever Tanner passed, is it just felt like something I could change. It felt like something I could just hit reset. When I was in shock at the beginning, and it just felt like it wasn't tangible. I woke up several nights just thinking it was a nightmare. Went in his room to see if he was there. And it's going to toy with your mind. Anyway, that's where I'm planning on going with these videos. It's not going to be all doom and grief and gloom. I like to get out and see the world from the handlebars of my bike, from the cab of this truck. Remember, no two people go through this the same way. Please be patient with me. I am not a photographer. I have no videography experience whatsoever. So these might be a little raw and edgy from time to time. Any suggestions you have, I greatly appreciate them. In the meantime, if you would, subscribe to my channel if you're watching this on YouTube. Hit the like button if you like it. And if you don't like it, the dislike button doesn't work. But just kidding. If you gotta hit it, hit it. And the sun came out and I could have brought the bike, of course.